Hi guys, I hope you're doing well. You may notice that I do look a little bit different, and if you want to know more about it, I did make a story time video talking about it, so you can get a little bit more personal with me in there and let me know anything that you think. You can be negative too, there's no problem with that, but we're gonna focus on Clues by Sam here, and I'm gonna play the hard one for today on Valentine's Day. So why do we have ninjas on the board? We're gonna figure that out. So if you don't know what Clues by Sam is, it is a daily puzzle game where there are 20 people and each of them might be a criminal or an innocent, but you gotta use the clues that they give you to help you figure out each person's role. And we are here doing this every day, so I'm going to start mine right now. If you want to play along, there is a link in the description and I'm going to explain my logic as I go. So if you need any help, you can get it from here. Let's start. We start with Ethan telling us that Uma is one of Wanda's 4 criminal neighbors. Oh my god, a skeleton. So are we doing this because yesterday was Friday the 13th and we are kind of late? Why the different? I don't know. Ethan says that Uma is one of Wanda's 4 criminal neighbors, so Wanda has 5 people neighboring her. 4 of them are criminals, which means that one of them only is an innocent and Wanda is one of the criminals. Now Wanda says that each row has at least 2 innocents. Each row. Is that it? We know that if Wanda is gonna have, because she has 3 people neighboring her in row 4, right? And at most, she could have 1 innocent in that row neighboring her. And if there was an innocent neighboring her in row 4, the other 2 people would be criminals. But for row 4 to have 2 innocents, then Rohan would have to be an innocent. And what happens with Zaya? Because Zaya couldn't be the innocent for Wanda. Because if that were the case, then everybody here in row 4 would be criminal. And now row 4 doesn't have the 2 innocents that it needs. So we know that Wanda is an innocent. We know that Wanda is a criminal. Almost made the same mistake that I made yesterday. And we know for sure that somebody here is an innocent who neighbors Wanda. But we also know that both Wanda and Zia are innocent since row 5 also needs 2 innocents. Right? A lot of things happening. Okay. Oh, let's leave Uma's clue there. What does Wanda say? There are as many criminal cops as there are criminal sleuths. Well, we only know about 1 cop who is a criminal. How many cops are there in total? It looks like just Uma is a cop today, so we know that 1 sleuth is an innocent and the other one is a criminal, since there's only 1 criminal sleuth, because there's only 1 criminal cop. Oh, Wanda is a cop herself, but she's an innocent. So same logic applies. Sorry about that. Now Zaya says there's an odd number of criminals neighboring Gus. Okay. Gus has a lot of neighbors, so we're gonna leave that for later. Zia says that exactly 1 innocent in row 1 is neighboring Gus. And we know that that innocent is either gonna be Bonnie or Dana, so we know that Claire, who's also neighboring Gus in row 1, is not that innocent. She's a criminal then. And because we know that each row has to have at least 2 innocents, and there's only 1 here so far in row 1, Amy has to be the 2nd innocent in that row. Now, Rohan says there's an odd number of innocents neighboring Ollie. Where's Ollie? Wally has Wanda as an innocent neighbor. I guess we're gonna use Gus's total of neighbors, because there's an odd number of criminals neighboring him, right? 2 are neighboring him on row 1. Oh, that is hard. There's many criminal cops as there are criminal sleuths. Yeah, we don't need that anymore. We know that somebody here is gonna be an innocent and the other one's gonna be a criminal. The other 2 are gonna be criminals, actually. Let's say that's Ollie. We're gonna use the lower text to simulate scenarios. So Ollie is the innocent in this situation, which makes him have only 1 innocent neighbor. But the thing is, in that case, he would have to have an odd number of innocents. An even number of innocents in row 3 neighboring him. to make an odd number total. And we know that each row needs at least 2 innocents. But Gus has an odd number of criminals neighboring him. He needs at least the third one. It could be Mary. Could both Flora and Hank be criminals? They could, if Gus himself was an innocent. And now he has 4 criminal neighbors. So that will make Mary a criminal. Is this what I'm supposed to be looking at? One innocent in row 1 is neighboring Gus. Yeah. A number of innocents neighboring Ollie. Well, we know that if Ollie had an innocent, let's say that he is a criminal and Nick is an innocent. Now he has one innocent neighboring him in row 4 and 1 in row 5, so that's 2. And since he has to have an odd number, then he would have to have a third one here in row 3. Could it be Kumar? It could, but he couldn't have 2 people then. He could have 3 people then. I don't think that's it. I don't think that's helping us. I think that's too much for now. I think we gotta think about Gus. If Gus were to be a criminal, at least one of these 2 would have to be an innocent. Because row 2 needs 2 innocents at least. Have I read Claire's clue before? I don't think I have. Only one of the 4 innocents neighboring Joy is Uma's neighbor. So Joy has 4 innocent neighbors, but she has 8 neighbors total, and 4 of them are gonna be criminal. But she shares 2 people with Uma as neighbors. So that means that either Nick or Ollie are an innocent, since there's only one of those shared neighbors who's an innocent. The other one's a criminal, but Uma also shares those 2, and Joy also shares those 2 with Wanda. That was a tongue twister. With Wanda, and now we have the single innocent neighbor for Wanda here, so that makes Paul a criminal. I guess I don't need Claire's clue. I do need it because it tells about the total for Joy. So what about Paul's clue? There are as many innocent colders as there are innocent sleuths. So we know there's only one innocent sleuth, which means there's only one innocent colder. How many colders are there? 2. And one of them is already a criminal, so that makes the other one an innocent. Mary's an innocent now. And now Mary says that Gus is one of her 3 criminal neighbors. So Gus is a criminal, we know that now. And either Kumar or Hank are gonna be the 3rd criminal neighbor, and the other one's gonna be the last innocent and last neighbor for Mary. Now, what do we know? We know that Gus has 3 criminal neighbors, right? So Claire, there's 1. The second one's either gonna be Bonnie or Dana. The third one's either gonna be Hank or Kumar. And the 4th one couldn't be Flora or Joy, because that would be an even number. He has an odd number of criminals neighboring him. So it's either both Flora and Joy are criminals, or both of them are innocents. So that Gus keeps having a non-number. And if both of them are criminal, that makes Hank an innocent, because row 2 needs 2 innocents, right? At least. So Kumar would then be a criminal, which would make Ike an innocent. Now, how many innocent neighbors does Joy have? 1, 2, 3. So that breaks, because Joy needs 4 4 innocent neighbors, just like she needs 4 criminal neighbors. What did I say? She needs 4 innocent neighbors and she needs 4 criminal neighbors because she has 8 total. So this doesn't work. Joy and Flora both have to be innocent. And now every column has 2 innocents, so that clue isn't helpful anymore. But we know that Joy has 1 innocent neighbor here, 2, 3 with Ethan and Flora. So that makes Ike and Kumar one or the other, because they are one gonna be the last innocent neighbor for Joy, and the other one a criminal. If what? Is it about Ollie? Because Ollie has a non number of innocents neighboring him. So now he has 2, Joy and Wanda. He's gonna have a third one who's either gonna be Kumar or Ike. So Nick couldn't be an innocent, otherwise Ollie would have an even number. Nick has to be a criminal, which makes Ollie an innocent. Now Ollie says that only one row has exactly 3 innocents. And what would happen if we made Kumar an innocent? That will make Hank a criminal and Ike a criminal. Now, only row 3 has 3 innocents. Is it? But if Kumar were a criminal, that would make Ike and Hank both innocents, and now both rows have 3 innocents each. Row 2 and row 3. So Kumar has to be an innocent, which makes these 2 criminals. Now, Hank says that each column has at least 1 criminal. What column doesn't have any criminals? Column B. So that makes Bonnie, the last person in that column, a criminal, which makes Dana an innocent. Nice. Okay, I'm faster than half the people who solved this. And considering that I'm doing this pretty late, that's nice. And it was a really nice solve. I hope you enjoyed this. And I'll be back again tomorrow with more Clues by Sam. I'll be always here doing this.